Hey, what's up? How are you? Mark Levitt here for another episode of What I'm Thinking. You know, I've done 9 of these episodes, and it suddenly dawned on me, maybe I should learn a trade. What do you think? Do you think I should, or do you think I should, I don't know, keep plowing ahead? What do you think?
You're a fucking secretary. Fuck you! Yeah, that's my message to you. Fuck you, and kiss my ass. You ain't even...
Okay, well... That man sure made it clear. He does not want me to proceed. Well, I don't care. I don't care, sir. I don't care. I'm plowing ahead. Anyway, let's get on with it. So this is episode 9, as I said. I am your host, Mark Levitt. Yes, I do other things in life, but I am the host of this show in addition to that. Okay? So anyway, last Sunday I'm watching ABC, and they're showing the movie of the week, and that movie of the week is Titanic. And I'm thinking to myself, isn't it a little in bad taste to show like a movie about the largest aeronautical, is that was aeronautical disaster or naval disaster, peacetime naval disaster in history? Anyway, they're showing this movie about the Titanic during a national pandemic. So that struck me as a little bad timing. And not only that, but in the film, they kill off heartthrob at the time, Leonardo Dicaprio. Probably the best-looking person on the planet at that time. They kill him off. They plunge him into the watery depths. And I was thinking about that, and I mean, the Titanic movie didn't kill off some random or ugly mole-faced looking guy like, I don't know, Pete Davidson. They went and killed off the handsomest man on the planet at that time. You know, I mean, Pete Davidson would be easily expendable, right? I mean, look, if they have a problem with a volcano, send Pete Davidson in, right? Guy's hideous. Won't make a difference to anyone, right? But no, they send in this blonde-looking motherfucker to the worst aeronautical disaster. Is that what it's called? Aeronautical? They send him to the worst motherfucking aeronautical or naval disaster in history, right? It doesn't make any sense. Completely unnecessary. Completely unnecessary, right? It would be like if they cast the film in, I don't know, the 70s or 80s, and they put Leif Garrett on that boat, or Scott Baio. Can you imagine the pandemonium that would ensue as a result of that action? Can you imagine that? You know, they would have a girl sitting in the theater, and they have Scott Baio there. No, Scott Baio, no! You move the hell over on that raft, you stupid bitch! Move over for Chachi. You hear me? Move the fuck over. Give Chachi some room, bitch. Wow. Anyway, yeah, it would have been chaos, right? Anyway, I was, to switch the topic completely, I was watching a couple of podcasts on YouTube, and I noticed Whitney Cummings was interviewing Kat Dennings. You know that girl, the brunette from Two Broke Girls? Is that what it's called? Two Broke Women, Two Broke Girls? I don't know. Anyway, Two Broke Girls, let's say it's called. So she's interviewing her, and it occurred to me, I'm like, whatever happened to Kat Dennings, right? She was on that show, Two Broke Girls, and then Beth Bears, her co-star, is now on that successful The Neighborhood show. But Kat Dennings was unheard of. She was unseen. She's like, she vanished off the face of the earth. And this was before the pandemic struck the nation. So Kat Dennings was nowhere to be found. She was like, she was missing, like much like the ever elusive Snuffleupagus from the old Sesame Street show, right? She was ever elusive, gone for a second, only to reemerge and then vanish. Vanish quickly beneath the shadows. Or really, Kat Dennings could just have been between projects. I really don't know. But I guess you could also say that about the Snuffleupagus, couldn't you? Maybe the Snuffleupagus was between film projects. Something to think about. They should have just teamed up. They should have a show now called The Cat and Snuffy Show. I think it would be a big hit. I really think Two Broke, One Snuffle. No, that doesn't work. So yeah, Cat and Snuffy Show, I think. This week we saw that racist incident, right? The dog walker versus the bird watcher. Like it was some, great fight of the millennia. Because what happened was, I guess this guy was in the Central Park bird watching, and this woman was walking her dog without a leash. So he feared for the safety of the birds. So he or the park at large. So he went and confronted the woman, and said, you got to put your dog on a leash. And she went all hell ballistic, right? She went nuts on him, and then she went and called the cops. She called 911, and she said, "There's an African man who's approaching me. I fear for my safety." That was a horrible situation, and obviously a racist incident. But it occurred to me that I couldn't get over the fact that this guy was a bird watcher. I mean, isn't that strange in this day and age to have a fucking bird watcher? And the fact that this woman felt intimidated by a bird watcher. I mean, bird watchers are by nature timid, aren't they? I mean, they would have to be, or they would scare the fucking birds, right? But this woman felt, I don't know, physically threatened by a bird watcher. I mean, granted, I've never met a bird watcher. I've never met somebody who, at least, overtly claims to be a bird watcher. But it would seem to me that these people are not the most physically threatening. Because the reasons I cited, that the bird would get the freak out of there, right? But anyway, and another thing that struck me as I'm seeing the scene play out is the fact that it's crazy for someone to be a bird watcher, because for anyone who's ever seen or been in the theater of Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds would probably view bird watching as a kind of a little more like a self-destructive or masochistic hobby. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing for that film, Cujo, right? Because they had this satanic dog that struck mayhem in that film, right? Okay, fair enough. But I mean, that was one fucking satanic Saint Bernard, one of them. Not a whole fucking 24, I don't know what they call packs of these friggin' mongrels, right? It wasn't a whole sea of them, right? But in I can't speak. But in The Birds, man, the city of Bodega Bay was overrun by these beaked motherfuckers. It was pandemonium. I mean, you couldn't. They were everywhere, right? That shit was fucking widespread. It was like they were. What is the word? Endemic to the area? Is that correct? They were endemic to Bodega Bay. They didn't just this one fucking dog around. The whole place was swamped with them. Thing fucked me up for years after seeing that film, right? To this day, I'm still skeeved by birds. So the fact that anybody would willingly go out there and look at birds is, to me, insane. Just insane. Okay, what else is going on? So this week also you had Sophia Vergara, right? There's a story that she was bragging about the fact that her and her husband, what's his name? Joe Montenegro. I can't even say his name. Anyway, she was bragging that her and her husband hadn't had one fight in quarantine yet. And I'm like, why? Isn't this kind of a strange thing to brag about? I mean, it's like going into couples therapy and boasting, he hasn't hit me yet. I mean, doesn't that strike you as being bizarre that someone would brag about that? I mean, and even if they did fight, the police would be called in, right? But they'd never file a report because their names are fucking unpronounceable. You have, what is her name? His name is Joe Manganese. They'd probably end up calling him Joe Manganese. And her name is what? Sophia Loren, Sophia Conchito Alonso Montenegro. I don't know. They have unpronounceable names. And what would these people have to fight about? They're very wealthy, attractive people who are newlyweds, right? What could they fight about? It's mind-boggling. Anything else happening in the news? There should be. Another news story out there claimed that John Wick, right, that film, was originally supposed to be called Scorn, but that because Keanu Reeves kept calling it John Wick because he couldn't remember the film's original name, they kept it to John Wick. Now, What were the other names of the other films he was in? Was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure originally called Whoa? Was the original title for Something's Gotta Give? Something's Wrong with Your Heart? I mean, god damn, that man can't think of, he can't keep one title in his head? Idiot, right? Anyway, I guess that's it for this week. I don't really have that much more to say. You all have been a great audience, very attentive. I like that. Okay. So I've been your host, Mark Levitt. I hope you're all doing well out there in COVID land. Continue to keep safe and carry on. Have a good day and ciao.